Welcome back. We are still here in San Francisco, live streaming from Greenfest. I'm here with Greg Ching. He's the CEO of Solar Greens, based in Nederland, Colorado. And we're so excited to have you here today. I want to know all about what I'm looking at right now. Please tell me about Solar Greens, how you got started, what you're doing here at Greenfest.
Well, thank you very much, Kelsey. What you're looking at is the My Terrace Farmer. It's a small footprint, intelligent, smart greenhouse. It's solar powered, rainwater collecting, self-watering, self-fertilizing automatic greenhouse. And you can actually even control it, from a smartphone. You can see it that way as well. So it's designed for busy people who have not enough time to garden, people who think that they're too busy to garden. So that's the idea behind it. And we started because where we live, we have such a short growing season. I live at 8,000 feet elevation, and it gets to minus 20 in the wintertime. So wanted to develop a product that would allow us to have a more resilient lifestyle, so we can actually get some greens in the wintertime, herbs and things like that.
That's so great. So tell me about, this is called
the My Terrace Farmer.
The My Terrace Farmer, and it's not available for distribution yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
We're going to be shipping it in the spring. We came to the Green Festival last year, and we've continued attending Green Festivals as a research and marketing thing. Cool. So we wanted to basically assess, from all the different cities, what people wanted in terms of features. We found it very, very helpful coming to the Green Festival.
I bet.
And at this point, we're going to be shipping it in the spring, but in the next few weeks, we'll be launching a project on Kickstarter.com.
Great.
Called My Terrace Farmer, and we'll be selling these products to early adopters at half price. The reason is that we want people
price.
We want people to field test these products and tell us, if it's working the way that we think it's working.
That's great. So please explain to me how this all works.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, one of the design philosophy behind this is to minimize the number of inputs. So we designed it to use solar power, so actually there are no plugs to this. You can plug this whole thing in the wall. We use solar power to do a couple things. Like these are grow lights. They're blue and red just because plants don't use green light, so it's a very efficient way of doing it. This is an outdoor greenhouse, so what we're doing now in an indoor environment, these lights are turned on. Our sensors are basically saying it's not bright enough, we're going to turn on the lights. So we also set it up so that we minimize the amount of water usage. So the water comes off the roof into this rain gutter coming through the column here. We actually have down below here, we have 53 gallons of rainwater collected in a food-grade bladder. That is providing thermal mass, solar mass for the passive solar greenhouse. But in addition to that, it's actually the water that we use when we dilute our worm composting for worm tea. And we use that water when the soil sensors say it's dry enough. We actually use that to fertilize the plants. But in addition to that, I don't know if you noticed, but there's a box, that black box there. That's our battery.
I saw that.
So we designed it in such a way that this will operate even without any sunshine for several days, minimum 2 days, and so that we can actually continue watering plants, operating, monitor, control the plants, and that sort of thing like that. And then, in addition to that, you can charge your cell phone if your power is out, so in case of an emergency.
You thought of everything.
Well, we took it to places like, I've lived in places like New York City and Manhattan. I lived in Iowa, I lived in the Bay Area, and now I live in the rural areas of Colorado. Wanted to design something that would address food, water, energy, and community from a macroscopic, but yet at the same level, something that individuals can do in an easy, affordable way.
That's incredible. So what kind of plants can you grow?
Well, I designed it to grow like tomatoes and herbs and things. And the way I used it at home is that I would stand in the back, I would slide my living room door, lower the shade, clip some basil, whatnot, close it back up, walk to the kitchen, throw it back there. But I would say the number one request right now is cannabis.
I bet. I was going to ask that. Well, Colorado, I mean, it's now legal, right?
It's legal in Colorado and Washington, things like that. I personally have never tested that, so I can't say that. But the point of it is
I bet somebody will be happy to do that for you. That's really great. So tell me a little bit more about the process, about your plans for distribution, supply chain.
Yeah. Well, one of the things we're interested in doing is having a really good understanding of how well this works. So in the near term, we're going to do direct distribution. Kickstarter is a direct relationship. We'll be just selling it directly on our website, solargreens.net in the spring. We've been approached by distributors. So there are people actually coming to the Green Festivals is great because people have approached us. Can we sell it in our catalog?
I bet, yeah.
We have a lot of really interest into a B2B type of situation. But until we actually understand exactly what the issues are, we don't want to release it. In fact, we will not release this greenhouse that we think we're comfortable with it. Right now, we're setting the expectation with our Kickstarter. You're getting it for half price because you're going to give us feedback, because our system can log data through the wireless connection back to us, so we know exactly what's going on.
That's such a great idea. There's so much involved here. How did you, originally decide that this would be the first step for Solar Greens? Because you were telling me there's more to come.
Yeah, we have lots of other product ideas. I wanted to do work with the Green Festival just because the demographics. Being a small company, I don't have the money necessarily to do all the demographics. I had a lot of research that I picked up off the web, but coming to the top tier cities like now New York, San Francisco, LA, Washington, Chicago, that gave me a clue. I could do research along the Colorado Front Range and do my own investigation. When we did the prototype a year ago, because this company is only a little bit over a year old, I had 100 people walk through my yard, and it was after Hurricane Irene, when at that point, and people were basically in the East Coast suffering. They had no refrigeration. So one of the things I did was actually I plugged in a cooler, like kind you have in the car, and I had put Izzy's in there. So as people came through, I just ran it for several days using the battery to see whether we could actually charge a cooler, just using the sun, that sort of thing.
And?
Yeah, it worked fine.
That's incredible.
And then I actually even plugged in, because you can daisy chain these units together.
Oh, cool. So you can have multiple...
Yeah, for community gardens and things like that.
So
and I actually put two of them together to plug in my 2005 Prius plug-in car.
Really?
Just to see whether it charged it up. It wasn't enough to charge the car fully, but it was enough to charge the car enough so if I had no electricity at all, I could drive somewhere. So that was something.
That's incredible. So what is this? What is this made out of?
Okay, everybody thinks it's bubble wrap. Let's just squeeze it. Okay.
It kind of feels like bubble wrap, but like really thick bubble wrap.
You can't pop it. So I have lots of kids on our Facebook page, with their parents' permission, trying to break this with pictures. It's a material called Solar Wrap, and what's really incredible.
Okay.
What's really incredible about this is that it was a material developed in Germany for commercial greenhouses, and it has amazing characteristics. One thing. It has an incredible insulation value, R1.7, which is actually better than a lot of windows. The other thing about it is that it lets 83% of natural sunlight come through. So those transmission qualities are extraordinary. 30% of the UV, ultraviolet, come through. But the key thing is that it will not break down. It's been tested in places like Kuwait, hot desert areas. It's been tested in Germany, commercial greenhouses for 25, 30 years. So we're actually pretty confident we're going to be giving a limited lifetime warranty on these greenhouses, because when I did the research for greenhouses, I discovered that many of my neighbors were spending a few $100s to several $1,000s for greenhouses that would fall apart after a couple seasons, or they cost so much to operate.
Right.
The Solar App solves a lot of those problems.
That's incredible. Well, this is so great. I'm so excited to have met you and to have evox supporting this process and campaign. We'll be sure to check back in with Kickstarter and see how that's going. So in the meantime, to find out more information,
go to solargreens.net.
Solargreens.net.
Yeah, and especially you can actually go to Facebook, My Terrace Farmer.
That's great. So this specifically, My Terrace Farmer. And then give me a little bit of a teaser of the next one to come that you were telling me about.
Well, we actually have trademarked the term My Apocalypse Farmer.
I love that.
So what we have is maybe a bigger version of this for the people who are preppers. In addition, what we have we have a prototype, I think, called Solarator, which is a solar power alternative to a diesel generator.
Wow.
And right now it's a 5x10 trailer, and we can use that to power emergency command centers, music stages all day, music at night, and that sort of thing. What we want to do is shrink it down so it's something small that people can use as a home diesel power alternative.
That's incredible. So how's it going so far at Greenfest? Are people responding?
Yeah, they're very excited about the Kickstarter,
I bet.
And I'm just really excited that we're going to do a very controlled release and just do a small number so we can get some really good feedback and work closely with people. Then we'll open it up in the spring.
That's incredible. Well, I hope we can check back in with you and follow up. Now, just tell me a little bit more about how Greenfest has been going. What are your favorite things?
Well, I always like the fact that there are surprising numbers of people coming here. People who are potential investors,
Yeah.
people who are potential resellers, customers that I've never met. And I love the ideas. We came here to get ideas, and every time we come here, we get a new idea. For example, we went to the New York Green Festival. These are casters, are like rollerblade,
Yeah.
roller skate casters. The reason we got that is that we went to New York, and the people in New York were telling us that they'd lost most of their greenhouses through Hurricane Sandy. By putting it on wheels, they said, could you just wheel it into a garage? That was an idea we took from talking to people at Hurricane Sandy. So people attending the Green Festival had a direct input in terms of changing our product direction.
That's incredible. That's really great. Well, it smells so good. I just love standing
it's,
here.
It's the end of the show, so yeah, you can
I'm
think
just
of
going to
rosemary.
take some of these plants home with me. But I'm so excited that, it's happening. It's the future right now. And I'm really excited to see how it goes for you.
Yeah, you can just wheel it up and close it.
Oh,
and that's
wow.
so these are all
So
products.
it closes totally up.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
And it can tell on its own how much light
Yeah.
it needs.
Yeah, and the ventilation and all that stuff like that.
Wow. Well, best of luck to you. We'll
you.
definitely be checking back in. Solargreens.net
Yes.
to find out more information.
Facebook, My Terrace Farmer.
Facebook. We'll definitely be following up with you, so check back in with us as well. And good luck the rest of
Thank you very
the
much.
rest of the convention. Thanks so much
Thanks
for being
so much.
here.
Appreciate it.